Hello again, this is Captain John with another one of my video tips of the week.
In today's video tip, we're going to take a look at the pecking order, which is Rule 18, or the responsibility between vessels. Certain vessels have priority over other vessels, even in meeting, crossing, or overtaking situations. Vessels higher on the list lack the maneuverability of those lower on the list. First on the pecking order is a vessel not under command. All vessels beneath the number one vessel must stay out of her way. Not under command means due to some exceptional circumstance, this vessel will be unable to maneuver as required by the rules to get out of the way of another vessel. This includes vessels that have lost their engine power or they've lost steering control. Vessels not under command must show the proper lights and day shapes for their status. Find more about lights and day shapes in the links below this video. Number 2 on the list are vessels restricted in ability to maneuver. These vessels are restricted because of the nature of their work, such as this Coast Guard buoy tender. Once she is on station, as long as she shows the proper shapes and lights to indicate her status as a vessel restricted in ability to maneuver, all other vessels except for a vessel not under command must stay out of her way. Other vessels restricted in ability to maneuver include commercial diving vessels, vessels launching and recovering aircraft, engaged in bridge construction or dredging in an inlet, and more. Number 3 on our pecking order list are vessels constrained by draft, and this applies only to those vessels in international waters outside the demarcation lines of the United States. Again, if a vessel wants to consider herself to be constrained by draft, she must show the proper lights and shapes to indicate that status. Fishing vessels refers to commercial fishing vessels which are not using rod and reel. Even smaller fishing vessels like you see here have gear which, once extended out into the seaway, can be very difficult to retrieve and hinders the vessel's maneuverability. Sailing vessels are vessels which are under sail alone. But you will also want to be familiar with Rule 9, which cautions sailing vessels to stay out of the way of large vessels that can only use the channel and are not nearly as maneuverable. Power-driven vessels are those vessels which are operating under propulsion machinery. I believe it's a good idea, if you have your engine on, even if just to charge batteries, consider yourself to be a power-driven vessel, because once your engine is on, you have high maneuverability and you can easily move over to the side to get out of the way of another vessel to avoid collision. Number 7 in the pecking order is a list of vessels which must stay out of the way of all others on the pecking order. This includes seaplanes or wig craft, which are wing and ground craft which hover above a air cushion close to the sea surface. Now you know how to use the pecking order to determine the status of another vessel and the action to take to keep you and your crew safe and sound.
This is Captain John, and this has been another one of my video tips of the week. Find more sailing tips and techniques on www.skippertips.com.